Hello and welcome back. In the previous lecture, we have described about the zoonotic disease, what they are, and some of the example of zoonotic diseases as well, like rabies, leishmanias, toxoplasmosis, Q fever, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, plague, etc. And we have described some of the diseases as well, like rabies and Nile virus, toxoplasmosis, and mad cow disease, and Lyme disease, and ringworm, and H1N1. But now we are going to discuss the avian flu or the bird flu in details. So let's begin our topic. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most bounteous. So let's start another video about bird flu. Few very important points we need to remember and need to know about the bird flu. That in the United States of America there is no bird flu present today. The reason is that mostly they don't import the poultry product from other countries, so there is no danger in getting bird flu from eating chicken. You cannot get bird flu from properly cooked chicken, but if you do not cook properly, then obviously there are chances. And we need to keep all the poultry products properly refrigerated and cooked thoroughly before eating. So here is our outline of the topic. First of all, we will see the introduction to bird flu and what causes this influenza, and the background about the influenza pandemic, and the impact of avian influenza or the bird flu on human beings, and the effect of bird flu or avian influenza on agriculture and agribusiness, and what should you do in a flu pandemic outbreak. And then we will see the summary of this topic. So before starting the introduction to this chapter, we will first see some of its vocabulary, the words which are commonly being used in this topic, so we should be familiar to that as well, so that we can understand this topic very well and be very good at that. So the first word for is used commonly used for that, as we have seen earlier as well, is avian. Avian is another word which is used for birds. Then there is influenza, avian influenza, we have seen, or bird flu, a contagious disease of lungs, abbreviated as flu. So flu is a disease of lungs. Number next is bird flu. Bird flu, a flu virus carried by birds that can be transmitted to human and other animals, also known as avian influenza or bird flu. A flu virus carried by birds, so it's basically the flu of birds, but it can be transmitted from birds to human beings. Then there is another definition, which is domesticated animals. So what are domesticated animals? Animals that live around human, or the animals which are kept household, or which are the residents with the human being, or which live in household of human. And so what is contagious? Contagious disease or contagious is capable of transmitting disease from one to another. Pandemic Pandemic is infectious disease which affect people globally or which affect the uh, region of a globe. Zoonotic infection Zoonotic infectious disease that can be passed from animal to human. Disease that can pass from human to animal is known as zoonotic disease. So now we will see the introduction of bird flu and see how it emerges and when it becomes pandemic and things like that. So we start with its introduction. Bird flu is a lethal variant of flu virus that possesses a major threat to world's population. So what's bird flu? It's the variant of flu virus. So there is common flu virus which is not deadly, nothing is common, just it's just simple virus which can go away itself as well. But bird flu is a variant, so it's different, like it is completely changed from flu virus and it can be lethal as well, and it is a threat to the world population because it can spread in the human beings. The deadly flu pandemic of 1918, which is called as Spanish flu, was a strain related to bird flu. So in 1918, when there was a strain, when there was a pandemic of Spanish flu, there was also something related to bird flu as well. Bird flu has reappeared in the past decade, and there is growing concern that another pandemic may occur in the near future. So, when seeing and studying the bird flu, the scientists has concluded that in near future it can be a potentially threatening and maybe a very serious concern for the human being because it is a pandemic disease and can spread from one human to another human or from birds to human because the birds are common in human areas, so they may contaminate the areas and spread the bird flu. In the next lecture we will describe about the causes of this influenza, its background and impact on the human being and more things. So for now, Allah Hafiz.